Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Off the Clock. I'm your host, Sierra Jones. Today we have Huntsville's finest chef, Marketha McCaulley. She's going to be showing us how to make her salad, her world-famous shrimp and grits, and her signature dessert. We're also going to get to know her and how she got started with the Southern Sauciér. Without further ado, let's get Marketha off the clock. Welcome. We are here with the CEO and owner of Southern Sauciér, Ms. Marketha McCaulley.
Hello. How are you?
Now look, before as you guys see this beautiful display, and before we talk about the amazing food that we create, how and when did this start? Where did Southern Sauciér, or how do we even say Southern Sauciér? How do we say it?
Okay, so either way I go, you're gonna be saying it wrong.
Okay.
The name is Southern Sauciér, if I'm saying it
Okay.
correctly. It's French based. I named my business over after my favorite station, which is the Saute station.
Okay.
Which is the Saucier station, so I spelled it that way. But once you get to say it in the South and you read it, most people say Saucier. And so I put it together with Saucier and Saucier, and it's kind of whatever comes out your mouth. That's me.
That's
That's
you.
the Southern Saucier, Saucier, saucer. Got sunflower.
Marketha.
I got it.
And explain the sunflowers. It's beautiful. I know she got the tattoo as well.
Yes, ma'am. Well, it's one of my favorite flowers. It's one of what I consider God's boldest flowers because it always faces the sun. So it's very prideful. And
Yeah.
so I take pride in what I do. And so it's just a reminder for me and a reminder subconsciously for everyone else to take pride and hold your head up to the sun and be even if you're awkwardly beautiful, because not all sunflowers are traditionally beautiful, but they're all beautiful in their own route and very, very proud flowers.
I love that.
So that's where that comes from.
That's beautiful. And when did you start this business? When did you have a heart to cook?
I always wanted to cook, and one of the plans was always to retire into restaurants.
Okay.
And I was an industry person, and the pandemic happened. And then I became a content creator, and I was doing lots of films on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. I wasn't doing a lot of speaking on camera, but lots of short videos, demos. I was cooking something different every day. So every day, during the pandemic, you was getting a new dish.
Yeah.
So after a while, my friend James, I was in New Orleans with my sister. He said, "Yo, you ought to start selling this. This is dope." And I was like, "For real?" He was like, "Yeah." And then one day, literally, we just came up with the menu. This is when pop-up restaurants were a thing.
Oh, yeah.
His family's restaurant is Meals from the Heart Cafe. It's in the French Market down there by Loretta's Pralines. So his family gave me the opportunity to open up a pop-up shop in their vegan-inspired restaurant.
That's cool.
And so I was doing steaks and quick things, sandwiches, sliders, just kind of developing things in the French market, and still doing content creating. I started doing catering here, traveling, private dining, private dinners, corporate retreats, just kind of anything, demos. And so it just kind of grew out of, yo, this is dope.
Yeah, something bigger.
Yeah, and actually he helped me my first year in business. Because of course I have restaurant experience and I know the industry, but I'm more of an artist. I still very much consider myself more of an artist and an entrepreneur. So when it comes to creating the menus and doing all of this part, this is still my favorite part over the selling part, over the talking to the clients part. That's great. I love y'all. Y'all are good people. But for this part, this is still the fun part for me, creating new dishes, imagining new things.
That's beautiful. And those watching, so Marketha and I, we kind of go a little bit way back. When I was coaching at Jemison, I hit you up, and she would make some amazing meals for the girls, some things that they had never even tried before. And you are not just a caterer, but you do so many other things.
Yes, ma'am.
And you also you talk more about that. You even go to homes, right? And
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
a personal chef.
Right, so I'll do in-home private dining like this. So if it's your birthday or anniversary, if you want something special to come in this same very setting, I bring all the pots, the pans, the silverware, the fancy plates. I'll customize a menu suited to your needs, so you don't have to go, I'm eating Keisha's menu. No, this is your menu. This is what you like. It's inspired by you, created by me. Type, or even thanks to when you say do other things with the kids. I do class demos. I do, career development.
Yeah.
So I've been at Limestone County Schools, Decatur County Schools, Lee High School, the Selden Center with the Boys and Girls Club, and I donate my time to those kind of organizations to inspire youth. Some of the classes are very age appropriate, just to get them to ask questions, to get them inspired about cooking. We talk about the industry, the different paths, because there are many ways to make money from the food industry without actually cooking, especially now with the blogging becoming such a money maker, and you really don't need a lot of know-how to be a blogger. You just need to have a knife and a fork. Or we can say the right stage presence will give the wrong and the right person the kind of influence on social media for those kind of things. And I actually do explain that to the children too. That talent doesn't always make you famous. Sometimes you just have to be marketable. I've seen excellent chefs with good food, great potential, and struggle with restaurant ownership. So sometimes you have to think beyond how good you are and how good you can sell yourself. Both of those things are important. Because a lot of times you ain't got to be good. Man, just got to be marketable.
Yeah.
So
even talking about that, do you have aspirations to own your own restaurant one day?
I can still say maybe. I want something very much boutique like Chef Alan Noble. 116 Noble. Me and him grew up together. We're Northside kids. I had a vision of more of a whiteboard restaurant where it would still be open daily, but what's fresh, what's in season, what sells, what tastes good, what does the chef want to create? And so if the public would trust me to be able to create them a different menu all the time, then something like that. We may have the standards like the shrimp and grits. I think that people will never let me stop making certain dishes. But I think that if they were ready for me to endlessly be able to create and throw food at them at a habitual pace, then I would go into restaurant ownership. But being stuck with the same menu, the same standards over and over and over is what keeps me reluctant, because I am an out-of-the-box thinker. I get bored with my own dishes. As soon as I've created it, I'm ready to give you something else. I got another idea. This is why I don't have a problem showing them off, because I got another one in the back. You can copy it. That's fine. Nothing's new in the food industry anyway. So as you go on and you're repeating recipes, it's more about keeping up with technique and methods. Because you'll come back around and it's something classical French, and which is what I stick to. I stick to a lot of the basics. I do different global cuisines because, believe me, if you want Ethiopian food, I'm going to give you something authentic. If you want Thai, so I'm not just a soul food chef. I'm a chef kind of chef because of that whole creativity. I feel like food is the ultimate medium. I was a scientist first. I got my first degrees in chemistry from Tuskegee University. I wanted to go into forensics first and then retire in the restaurants. And then I went to culinary school just kind of afterwards because I never really took to the science. It was boring. Food is an art and a science. I can create different things. I can manipulate flavors, different aromas, different colors, different textures. And so for me, the science of it still makes it fascinating. It makes me be able to layer flavors, but the art of it is really what truly just embodies me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, when we get right back, we're going to hear more about this wonderful dish and a few more that Marketha has planned for you guys. We'll be right back.
The greatest asset we have is our employees.
I'm very excited to welcome you to our new corporate website.
The National Space Club was founded as the National Rocket Club in 1957.
In North Alabama, we are extremely blessed.
Truth Home will test your theory in everything, the good things and the bad things. In everything, give him thanks.
Why choose this as our Lord? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain?
Welcome back. We are here again with Marketha, the owner of Southern Sauciér, or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Now look, before we get started in this, it smells so good. Let's talk about what you did with this salad. Can you tell us what is all in this salad?
Okay, so this is a play on my summer aphrodisiac salad. What I like to do is I like to put lots of things in there to kind of get your motor going. So spinach, arugula. It's got strawberries, grapes, blackberries, sunflower seeds for crunch, feta cheese for a little bit of twang, a lemon poppy seed vinaigrette, and then balsamic drizzle. So it's got like sweet, sour, tangy, peppery, nutty, creamy notes. For when I build a salad, they have to have plenty of touch points. Not very basic at all. I want you to have a different kind of experience so that you're not just eating lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers.
All right, so tell us what we have here.
So today I'm doing for you one of my signature dishes. It's one of the dishes, like I said, that if I ever stop making it, they'd riot. It's shrimp and grits, which is a very simple Southern classic that you can mess up, but you really can't. It starts with a good base of grits. My grits are made with heavy cream and butter instead of water or chicken stock. I do a smoky Gouda grit, so I season them savorily. So garlic powder, onion powder, a bay leaf, salt, pepper, butter. Going from the traditional or the Southern breakfast grits, I know this may get me blocked, but if you're from the deep South, sugar does go in grits. And so there's a way that I wouldn't season them if I was doing this breakfast style. So we're doing a dinner savory grit.
Okay.
So again, butter, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. We're using a nice smoky cheese here for a nice layer of flavor. Smoked Gouda, I also like to use a little smoked provolone. And the smoked provolone gives it that extra creaminess, that extra roundness that people ask, like, why are your grits so smooth? The heavy cream and the smoky provolone, smoky Gouda gives it that kind of lush. And if I don't have provolone, sometimes I use Havarti. Havarti will also give it body. But a milk mozzarella will give it stretch, but tight. So you don't want it tight. You want it creamy, smooth, and lush.
Okay.
Kind of like a big girl.
Yeah. Curves and everything.
Curves and everything. So the grits are done.
Okay.
You know, judge your mom. I use quick grits. I prefer old-fashioned grit.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to warm up the pan a little bit. So first we're going to start with the mirepoix.
Okay.
So that would be white onions, red bell peppers. There are some orange bell peppers. I'm going to cut up a little bit of green bell pepper.
Okay.
I'm going to show you a really quick way to cut an onion. I like it. It's called the radial method once you cut it in half. You see how the onion has these lines?
Yes.
Following the radius.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to follow those lines around the radius of the onion. Okay, and we're cutting all the way to the board. Oh,
Okay.
see a little slice went around, okay? So once you follow the radius all the way around, blah, blah, blah. Now, usually if you're doing the grandma method, grandma would take a knife
Yeah.
and then go this way, right? That's dangerous. Don't do the grandma method. Remember, we follow the radius at an angle, right? So the next thing we need to do is just do this. And now we have perfect onion dices.
That's a lot quicker,
It's a lot quicker. Two steps. You're not going this way where you can't see.
Yeah, or putting it in your
And-
hand and having to...
Exactly. So it's much more consistent that way, safer that way. The onion holds itself. Next thing, a bell pepper. I like this. Way I open them, you see how God gave it the lines?
Yeah.
While we talking. Get that going. Pretend I got garlic in it. I forgot it.
That's such a pretty color combination.
Damn. All right. So we're going to follow the lines like the good Lord gave it. Okay? Real easy like. Okay? And also when you're cutting a waxy fruit, cut it on the inside, right? So see how easy that is to kind of peel apart?
Yeah, you get the middle. Wow.
And the middle
it's a lot
comes right
easier.
I don't need all that much. Just for this, we're going to add a little more color. That be crazy, y'all. Okay, and then we're just going to do about a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
Real tight. And again, on the fruit side, because on this side, it's waxy. It's got a lot more resistance. If you could listen, you could hear it.
Yeah.
Resist me a lot better. I have a really sharp knife, so it's easier to cut through. But if you had a duller knife, it'll give you a lot more resistance. So again, cut on the inside of a bell pepper. Line it up. Make it neat. You don't need too much of a big stack. And then just real consistent. And what we're doing here is we're setting these vegetables. We're laying that ground layer of flavor.
This is also like a quick meal too.
Yes,
It doesn't
ma'am.
take that
All
long
right,
to.
now that we got that going, next thing we're gonna do, we got loads of shrimp. Now for me, shrimp and grits is not an appetizer.
Yeah.
A lot of restaurants want to give you 5 pieces of shrimp and a big giant bowl of grits. That's not the way it works for me.
Yeah.
For me, shrimp and grits is a meal. So I like nice, big, fat, huge shrimp, you know. Jumbo shrimp, medium shrimp. Those people who are my clients and get my shrimp and grits from me, they'll count them. And they'll go, listen, I go, don't count them. It's 15 jumbo shrimp in there. And usually I'll do jumbo shrimp and I'll do like the teeny tiny bite-sized shrimp.
All right, your shrimp is very well seasoned. Can you give a secret of what you season it with? Are you allowed to?
Yes, garlic powder, onion powder, parsley, paprika.
Okay.
I like a smoked paprika that adds to the smoky flavor that is in the grits. We're going to add our crawfish. Remember, this is a seafood grits. I don't put pork in my shrimp and grits. Add a little bit of crawfish. This is a big batch because I want us all to eat.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's just pretty, almost too pretty
yeah,
to eat.
real big batch. So, now as that simmers, you see how some of the shrimp has started to turn that translucent, some of it's still a little pink.
Yeah.
We're going to finish our sauce here. We're making a pan sauce. Now, I don't like to use roux.
Okay.
The number one reason why I don't like to use a roux alters the flavor. You have to take time to cook out a roux, a brown roux, white roux, blonde roux. It does not matter. I don't like the cook time and the effort that it takes for me to make a roux. I like to use a cornstarch or arrowroot slurry.
Okay.
Why? Number one, because it's gluten-free.
Okay.
So I never have to worry about that number one allergy where people say they can't have bread. So that kicks that out. Number two, once I've gotten my sauce tasting like I want my sauce to taste, all I have to do is add that cornstarch slurry and let it activate and thicken. So it works faster than a roux. A roux alters the flavor.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and I don't have to worry about it changing the color. All I want it to do is thicken my sauce. I don't want it to alter my sauce. Okay?
The flavoring you're talking about. You just
Yeah.
want the density of it to change.
I just want it to be not soup.
Okay.
So, at this point, the shrimp is mostly done.
Yeah.
The vegetables have been sauteed. The crawfish, which were already fully cooked going in there, have released their flavors. It doesn't take long at all. We're going to taste it. Tastes pretty good. Now, the reason why I use chicken stock instead of seafood stock in a shrimp and grit is because I feel like when you use the seafood stock, it takes it a little too fishy.
Okay.
Okay? But once you put seafood in chicken stock, it's not seafood stock.
I was curious. I was like, oh, it's not seafood.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about balancing the layer of flavors. Remember about layering the smoke here, a hint of smoke here.
Yeah.
And then again, with the crawfish, I also put the juices of the crawfish in it. Don't buy the farm-raised Asian crawfish. Look at it. This one I have here was farmed in West Wiggo. I know where that is. I used to live on the West Bank. I used to live in Algiers. So I know exactly where the water is they got that from. Get your Louisiana crawfish. It's safe. It tastes better. You don't know what they're doing with it, okay? Get your don't be making shrimp and grits with crawfish.
Now, are you able
else.
to share like your supplier, or do you go to a certain grocery store? Which one? Walmart.
Go to
Okay.
Andy's. I mean, we're talking about home cooking here. What I'm making here is a cornstarch slurry. Remember I said I don't like a roux.
Right.
So once the sauce is finished, you add a little cornstarch, you add liquid, and you stir it in. Now, liquid could be water, it could be wine, it could be cream. Doesn't matter, but it does.
Okay.
Okay? Being that this sauce is made with chicken stock, I'm using the chicken stock. If it was a cream-based sauce, I'd use cream. You know,
makes sense.
So what you're in your sauce, because water, if you do use water in your cornstarch slurry, remember that you are lessening the flavor.
Okay.
So you may have to re-season back if you use water in your cornstarch slurry. So the chicken stock is adding the liquid into the sauce without taking away from the flavor. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I didn't measure. I'm sorry, people. I don't. Okay? I don't.
You don't need to.
You feel it out. And as you can see, once the heat hits it, it automatically instantly
Yeah, it's already thickening.
It
Wow.
takes like no time. Cornstarch works with an already hot pan. So if you're putting cornstarch in something cold, it's going to clump up and you'll have to work a little harder to thicken it. And with the cornstarch,
so
is giving it
good.
again a sheen, a body in the sauce.
That looks so good. Well, while she's cooking, we'll be right back to taste this shrimp and grits, and then Marketha has made some dessert for us. Stay tuned.
Hello Huntsville is a weekly lifestyle audio and video podcast produced in studio and on location to showcase Huntsville's best activities, entertainment, neighborhoods, and all the unique attractions that make the Rocket City one of the top cities to live in the nation. Our primary audience is adults who live, work, play, and innovate in the Huntsville metro area. And each episode will feature Cynthia or Hannah in conversation with business owners, decision makers, elected officials, and some of the city's most compelling personalities telling the stories of their hometown. Whether you're local, new in town, or just passing through, Hello Huntsville will have something for you.
Oh my God. This is so good.
Thank you.
Ooh, okay. I gotta focus. Okay, so we've had the appetizer, that wonderful salad.
Yes.
These amazing, you guys need to try this, the shrimp and grits. Now tell us what we have here for dessert.
All right, so what we have here is a Southern classic with a French twist. We have a bananas Foster's bread pudding with a blonde bourbon sauce, and it's served with butter pecan ice cream. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
So I've already made with a blonde Foster sauce. I used the white sugar instead of the brown sugar, and I didn't let my butter turn as much, and so it gave it a lighter color. I used a salted caramel brownie cream, the same cream that I used in with the bananas Foster's bread pudding. That's made with the brioche bread, a anglaise. It's got pops of butterscotch chips in it and bananas in the middle. So if you like, it's not as cinnamon heavy as banana nut bread, but it still gives you that essence of banana. Yeah. So it's nice, it's sweet, it's not too much. And again, it kind of encompasses, I say, if my brand was a stereotype, it's a lot of Southern, a lot of French, and a little bit of Creole. Yeah. Just because, you know, what can I say? I'm from Alabama. My business started in New Orleans, and I'm classically trained. So if you go down the pocket.
Yeah, you got this beautiful. This is amazing. Yeah. This is amazing.
You know, a little bit goes a long way. And so the sauce is almost done.
Okay.
It did have a little bit of bourbon in it and cooked down with the rum flavor. But I want to do that last hit of rum for you. Yeah. And to do the flambe for you guys, because, I mean, that's the fun part. That's the cool part. You know, browning down the butter and the bananas is boring when you set it on fire. And also, when you set it on fire, what it does is it gives it a depth of flavor versus just letting it cook out. Yeah. It's going to cook out anyway with the heat because it's volatile. But that burning of it gives it another layer of caramelization.
Will you tell those watching how, if they're just mesmerized, they want to try this, how do they get in contact with you, where they find you?
Okay, so you can find me on social media. Facebook is Chef Marketha, but you can follow my business, The Southern Sauciér. Spell it like Saucier. Saucier.
See it on the shirt.
Yeah, Saucier. It's like my name. You know, Marketha. Listen, as long as you're talking to me, I know you got me. You can find me on my personal page, Marketha McCaulley, on Facebook. I am Chef.Keitha on Instagram, or the.southern.saucier on Instagram. I do have a landing page coming soon. Pretty soon, you'll probably go to www.thesouthernSaucier.com. Okay. But looking up Chef Keitha, Ketha, you'll find me. I've got multiple pages. I'm one of those, especially on Facebook. I got like 7.
She's famous.
I'm not joking.
And the ancestors, I know some people are probably wondering, how quick do you book? Like, let's say they want this full course meal at their home. How quick do they need to get in touch with you?
It just depends
Okay.
on the season. Like right now, it's barbecue season, it's food truck season. So this is the time to really catch me with a lot more free bookings. But if it's like your anniversary and you know you got an anniversary in November, please book me now.
Okay.
Especially around the hot seasons. I prefer to be booked at least 30 days in advance. I really do prefer 30 days.
Okay.
But if there's something comes in an emergency, because I do repasses. If someone dies, call me. I can get you a family dinner in 7 days. For things like that, I do make compromises.
Okay.
But I prefer to be booked 30
30 days in
out.
advance.
30 days.
Well, look, you guys have time. 4th of July is coming up. I know it's wedding season. Fall's coming up, so go
Yes.
ahead and book her now. Well,
Especially Thanksgiving. Listen, macaroni and cheese, jams, collard greens. Y'all can't do that. Please gonna holler at me. I do a sweet potato cornbread, sweet potato souffle. I do old-fashioned desserts. So like your banana pudding is made with eggs instead of just whipped cream with
Wow.
me. So really, especially around the holiday season, if you're missing grandma's cooking really rustic throwdown cooking, you really need to talk to me now to get on my holiday list.
Okay.
Christmas, your company banquets. I do sizes 2 to 500,
Wow.
which is a large range, and I really do consistently good food. If you want the soul food for 500, we're gonna do it. It's just that give me 30 days
Give you time.
to book you out because I'm all inclusive. So I have servers. I do the tablecloths. I do the beverage station. So for me, when you're calling me, I'm going, what's your theme? So we can order your linen. We can make your plates match. It's an entire experience with me.
Yeah.
You're just not ordering food.
Yeah.
So if you want top tier, listen, I am not the highest priced
Okay.
and I am not the least expensive.
Okay.
I am one of the best though. And I can work with almost any reasonable budget. I take care of children. I take care of nonprofits. So, it is what it is. If you're ready to ball out, we ball out. But
Let's do it.
if we're doing something for the Lord,
Yeah.
we're going to do something for the Lord.
And I'm going to brag about it before we close because Huntsville just had the end of the year. You were a nominee for Best Caterer.
Yes,
right?
ma'am. I got 4th place under Mason Dixon Bubba's in a taco truck.
And
that was
big
me,
time.
4th place.
Yeah.
The year before, I actually won Best Chef of Huntsville in 2022.
Wow.
And I've been in business since 2021.
So she's good and got the accolades to show it. Well, we
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate you so much for taking time, for cooking for us. My stomach is satisfied and I can't wait to eat the rest of this. And those watching, if you want information, it's right there. You can scan that QR code as well. Well, join us next time to see who's off the clock.